What up, everyone? DJ Anubis here.
And DJ Neko.
Neko's dropping shit. I can hear it going. Don't even need a cat here for that kind of chaos.
So I have my beverage. I'm trying the Canteen watermelon vodka soda, and if you like seltzers, vodka sodas, it's okay, but it's not a lot of watermelon flavor to it. But I was taking a drink and then the intro was playing and I just went.
So we are doing a reaction to the Mortal Kombat 1 trailer, which I have yet to watch. I know Samurai Guy and a few others.
I haven't watched it yet either. And I know it's been out for a little while. I just have been hearing a lot about it, and
well, we're fans of the games. I remember when it was in the arcade many moons ago.
Oh my god, yeah!
The first one on the big game consoles, and
I had to be in like middle school, possibly. It was the early 90s, right?
Yeah, late 80s, early 90s.
And I remember going to the skating rink around here, and it had like a small arcade in the skating rink, and boys would go skating, believe it or not. I don't think boys would do that now, but they were more interested in picking up girls, yes, but also playing Mortal Kombat. Because it was Mortal Kombat 1 and Mortal Kombat 2 right next to each other, and the giant X-Men game. I don't know if you remember that, where it was like, I think it was like 6 players, because it was the giant X-Men
Wasn't
game.
that like was that the X-Men versus DC or something?
No, it was just X-Men, but it came out.
But you could have 6-player teams.
It came out around the time when the X-Men cartoon came out, and that was definitely in my middle school times. Excuse me. And so you'd have, this is all kind of like off to the side, away from the rink, and I think I spent most of my fun money that night on quarters to play games. Get a soda maybe, but I'm like, fuck a piece of pizza. I'd rather play Mortal Kombat. And did you do the thing where Mortal Kombat 1, I think, was $0.25, and Mortal Kombat 2 was 50 cents, but the big X-Men game, I think, was $1 or 75 cents. So if you wanted to get...
I don't remember that, being that expensive.
If you wanted to get, who knows? I think a lot of the proprietors get to set their prices, and if you wanted to be next, you would take your quarters and sit them up. Yep.
I remember that. Yep. You got to put your place in. Who's next? I got next.
You have to
and if you won, you got to stay there until someone beat you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was always the thing. It was so big. And you get some of these younger guys that were playing hours on these arcade games, and they were good. They would be there 6 hours and nobody could beat them. It's ridiculous.
I swear I have a faint memory of, now this is a middle school, but there was a guy that I was interested in. He was playing Mortal Kombat, and Couple Skate came on, and I was like, come on, we gotta go skate. And he's like, not losing my place. So, but I don't even remember his name. That was 30 years ago.
The man with no name.
Man with no name. There was a guy that I don't even think ended up going to high school with me. But you know how it is, and you're young and have crushes, and you're like, and I think that might have been part of his appeal, was he plays Mortal Kombat. And just remember all of the blood. That was a big deal.
Yeah.
Games didn't have that kind of brutal force.
Well, recently, I don't remember the actor's name, unfortunately. The Samurai interviewed the guy who played Lightning in Big Trouble in Little China. And for those that don't know, the character of Raiden was based off of that character from that movie. Yeah. So that's kind of how that started and kicked that all off. And, of course, Raiden became one of the more prominent characters in the entire series and mythology of Mortal Kombat.
He is Lord Raiden.
From what I read about Mortal Kombat 1 it is actually a continuation from MK11 in terms of storyline.
So why is it Mortal Kombat 1? Why are they calling it that?
Not entirely sure, but reading up on the story, because MK11, by the end of the campaign, Liu Kang become like the new god or whatever it was. Like
there were several stories. You went through several stories in MK11.
So in this one, Liu Kang is in charge of making a new universe. Um, Basically creating his own universe. I don't know how he's going to do it or how it's going to work, but apparently it's going to be an immersive story campaign, much like the other one, probably a little bit more deeper. Here was the cool thing: cameo fighters again, but you can actually choose a fighter to assist you during this. So I'm not sure how that's going to work.
So
but
do you
that's
control
cool.
both of them, or
Well,
is
I
it
think
just
one is
kinda
just like a bodyguard.
It would just kind of like come in a little bit and
auto, whatever.
Interesting.
Obviously, when it comes to this game, I'm a big Sub-Zero and Katana fan. You like to play King Lao or Kung Lao,
who always gets the fucking shaft, always. I love Kung Lao. I have since he came out. He was introduced in Mortal Kombat 2, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed Scorpion too for a while, but that was like then Kung Lao came out in 2, and I just was always very loyal to him. I always really liked fighting games. You know, the Tekkens that came out, Soul Calibur. I was pretty good at Soul Calibur. I haven't played that in forever.
Killer Instinct was one I used to play a lot.
I liked games like that, and I liked the RPG type of games, which is why I kind of like when you were doing the story mode. I didn't complete the story mode. He did on MK11. It felt almost a little bit like an RPG, you know, even though it was based on you are fighting. Clearly, that's what the goal is, but there was a story, and it almost felt like the cutscenes that you see when you're playing like a Final Fantasy or a Metal Gear kind of game. I haven't delved into some serious games in a while. I haven't really. I'm not like DJ Anubis. He'll get sucked into a game. Me, I'm just kind of like, oh, that looks cool, and.
Yeah, she's busy making fun of me right now because of some of the troubles I'm having in Diablo 4.
Fighting Elias right now in Diablo. Ooh.
Yeah, piece of shit, motherfucker. Where's Sub-Zero when I need him?
Right.
So yeah, we're gonna get ready to check out the trailer for this. The graphics from MK11 were great. I really loved the look of it. Even the story, when you watch it, was pretty cool. So yeah, let's give this a whirl.
Okay.
MK1.
The whole game is inappropriate for children.
Right.
It is time. Time to wake up to a new reality. To a blank canvas that I have painted in with warmth and peace. In my new era, the choice is yours. Whether to live in quiet serenity or bloody strife. To dwell in joyous prosperity or bitter rivalry.
Alina.
You can face each other.
Yeah.
As sworn enemies. Or united as brothers. But a storm is brewing. And soon you will discover that even in this new era, one constant remains. There is always something worth fighting for. You have chosen to defy peace. Then you have chosen war with a god.
Oh.
September 19th? Pre-order. Oh, we missed the pre-order.
Yeah.
What was that?
Some rando.
I hate when
It autoplays.
it autoplays. So, do you know if any of that is gameplay or if it's just
Well, that's for the cinematic. That's similar to what MK11 had now. As far as like the actual gameplay, I tried looking up images and stuff. I didn't see anything yet.
maybe they're keeping it close to their vest, as they say?
I'm sure they are. I mean, we're in July, but I expect within the next month they're going to start showing some clips from it because there's going to be people beta testing it.
Google this real fast. When is E3, the big game thing? It's called E3.
Comic-Con or whatever.
No, it's called E3.
E3 Expo?
Yes.
June.
So we missed that too.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, it looks great, man.
I'm just wondering if they had made any announcements at E3. This is what happens when you are me and you're gone for months and then you're trying to catch up on things and you're still months behind because you're catching up on things. I am months behind on my podcasts. I am months behind on my reading. I am months behind. And now I just saw the MK1 trailer, which came out in May.
Well, I mean, this is the first time I sat and watched it because, like, a lot of times when I see other people doing reactions to it, like, I don't want to.
You don't want to spoil it yourself.
Right, because I want to experience it for the first time myself. So.
But this is my problem. I was listening to one of my podcasts and they started talking about MK1. And I haven't really been following anything. And I'm like, oh, great. But then I'm looking at the date of the podcast, which was, from May. That's just, it's almost July. This is how it happens. I get so far behind. And hopefully, my schedule will kind of like equalize soon and I won't be traveling for 4 months at a time and I'll be home more. That was a really sadistic smile.
Yeah.
So all right, so my final thoughts. I actually really like Mortal Kombat a lot. And you even bought another controller because I started playing it a little bit with him just for fun. I don't quite get into things as much as him where like I'll play for hours and hours and hours, but I seem to, I really enjoyed it. And the one thing, remember, when we went to see the Mortal Kombat movie, some of the stories in the game were like, I thought better stories than in the Mortal Kombat movie that came out a few years ago. And I'm like, why didn't they try to piggyback on the new game stories?
I don't know. And that's what's kind of frustrating with the movie. There were things about 2021 I like, but I think the general consensus about Mortal Kombat 2021 is that the storyline with Sub-Zero and Scorpion was far more better than the one with the new
guy. And is
dude.
the new guy even in Mortal Kombat 1?
I don't know. I don't like outside of the main characters we saw in the trailer. But he's really a nobody. Like, I don't know what it is. Why people they feel like when they go to direct these things, why they have to force these unknown characters.
Or force some like story that has never existed in.
It's like they feel like they have to connect it to the real world in some ways. And like, even though the first Mortal Kombat film kind of did that, we already knew those central characters. We knew their backgrounds because they were fans. We were fans of the game. We knew the backstories. They, for whatever reason, needed to bring in this like unknown of discovering himself being a combatant. And I'm like, you don't need that because you just got done starting a movie utilizing two of the most famous characters in Mortal Kombat, and that storyline was
Build
epic.
off
And
of
it's still
that.
right, and it just didn't do it. So
I mean, there were some Kano was really funny.
right, the character, like the actors did fine. Like I really didn't have a problem with any of the acting. Some people had a problem with Goro's look because it was CGI. I didn't have a problem with that at all. Taslim and I don't want to butcher his name, but obviously the guy who played Scorpion, way great for those roles. They did a really good job, and I really enjoyed the fighting, the choreography, the way they worked in the CGI with their skills was amazing. Like that was one of the best things about it.
I agree.
I mean, even fatalities with Molina and Kung Lao were pretty cool, but again, you killed off two pretty main characters just in the first film, so it's like you could have just laid waste to the guy that we just introduced. Like he would have meant nothing to the
I don't
next
think
film.
anything's going to be happening with it until after MK1 gets released, because then they'll be like, oh, we need to do another Mortal Kombat movie. We need to capitalize off of this. And
well, yeah, I mean, like the guy that did the directing for 2021 had the right idea, just the wrong story.
Yeah,
like
and I don't know who. I'm trying not to be pessimistic or bitchy sounding, but I feel like sometimes you get these stories and they're not even fans of the game or even casual fans of the game. I'm seeing this a lot with a lot of reboots. Right now.
Well, I did see that Asmon just got he just watched a little bit on the Witcher stuff, and like he's pissed off. Like he knew the Witcher was gonna struggle without Cavill, but like now it's really hitting the fan
So
again.
the person who is playing the Witcher is a different person?
It's gonna be Chris Hemsworth's brother, Liam.
But he's a good actor. But it's just not.
Well,
Henry
yeah,
Cavill.
He might do fine, but like the reality is that Cavill was really good in that role, and Cavill's a big fan of the game series. So I think part of what rubs people the wrong way is how Cavill was given the exit. Like it's like he was forced a hand that he didn't want, and so and the directors and the studio, they're coming out now saying, well, such a James Bond wasn't always one character. I'm like, that's not the same thing. It's not the same thing, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't sound like Henry Cavill or Cavill. I can never figure out what, but it didn't seem like he was ready to completely hang it up.
He enjoyed, but
out.
They kept changing the storylines to adapt to something that wasn't a part of what he came in thinking it was going to be all about. It should have been, he wanted it closer to the material. And they did it for a little while, obviously, but then they started straying and trying to focus on.
People say that about Game of Thrones too, like stuff like.
Well, that was kind of its own thing, I think. I mean, it might have been.
It was it's not a game, but like the books.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, there's doing some things different, and then there's like just altering the hell out of it.
The last season.
Well, people hate that because they felt like it was rushed or something.
Well, I feel like what because I never watched it. People were saying that the books were not finished for the last season, and they still wanted to like just
kick off the
series. Same thing with that Lord of the Rings series. What's it called? On Amazon right now.
Yeah, the one Rings of Power.
So.
But that's like an entirely new.
But it's supposed to be a prequel kind of thing, right?
Right.
And Aragorn is not Vigo, and that
and
in itself is you're taking one of the biggest beloved. I'm not
right.
Even. You're taking a beloved character from Lord of the Rings, and then you're replacing it with someone else.
A different race entirely.
And that's right. He's a black dude too. So I think that's why sometimes when you're doing these reboots,
yeah, it's real fun, and I don't want to go into this territory per se, but
that's why I was kind of asking: is this going to be a reboot for Mortal Kombat? And it seems like
the next film?
Yeah.
No, it's going to continue. I think it's going to be a trilogy. At least that was the plan. but it's still going to focus around that one dude. Like, I don't know.
What was his name? Caleb or something?
I don't know. He's the guy not going to work here anymore. That's basically what it is. He's very uninteresting as a character. No one cares.
Yeah. I think the actor did the best he could with
right. It's not his fault. I think
the same thing. With
he's like, hey, you want to be in this film? Sure, man. It's great.
Of course,
I would jump at it. Sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like with Rings of Power, if you were offered the job of being Aragorn, you would not say no. But if you're given, you can only work with what you're given. You can't like just be like, oh great, this story sucks. Right.
No one's going to say no to money and a job.
Or something like a good, prestigious, well-known Lord of Rings.
And if he's a fan, like he could be a fan of the character.
Mm-hmm.
So in his mind, oh, okay, I'm a black guy, but I really like this character. But the thing is, it doesn't match up with everything else.
And that's why people...
And then people say, well, it shouldn't matter with the actors on screen because they're just playing a role. But I'm like, well, okay, that's true, but you're visually seeing something.
Yeah, but you've already established the character.
Yes.
Because the character...
So even if Viggo is not playing Aragorn anymore in the early series,
find like a baby Aragorn.
Right.
Don't try to like completely change the look. And I think that's why people remember Daniel Craig got a wrath of shit
because he was blonde.
Right. Playing.
But that's like a simple change. Like that's not something massive.
Think about how people are and how and then you saw how great he did and people shut up really fast. But that's why, the backlash can be so, quick. It's like, oh, you have a completely different person playing a beloved character. So, but it happens. You have to do it sometimes.
But you're going to take the flack for it when you change things like that. You just are. You have to deal with it.
And honestly, I don't have a file on Lord of the Rings as much as he does to appreciate whether that Rings of Power is a good or bad series.
I watched the first couple of episodes and it didn't matter so much about the characters in it. I just found it uninteresting.
And that's probably what breaks your heart more because it's beloved to him. Like all of the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit are something he just...
Yeah, you get a certain vibe and feeling about the films and you don't get it in the series.
That sucks. So maybe this MK1 will kind of...
Well, the game, I enjoyed the story. Yeah.
Whoever's writing the next Mortal Kombat, because it should be coming out soon.
September 19th, I think.
The game?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking because MK11 was a little bit before the movie, and with COVID and everything, they kind of push things around. But I'm thinking maybe the new game comes out, they're going to want to capitalize on the popularity of the game, which I hear is already getting, just from that trailer, great praise. Mm-hmm. So maybe they regroup. Maybe we have a better second.
Hopefully, man. A lot of people came out of 2021 thinking it could have been a lot better.
It could have been a lot better, but I also...
But they had some good ideas in it, so hopefully they can capitalize on that.
Didn't we give it a 7 or 8 out of 10? It wasn't terrible, but
I think
wonderful.
It was 7 or 8.
And I also think too, because
it was saved because of the other stuff that we liked. So that's basically
and the acting and the choreography. But honestly, we were kind of getting out of COVID, and we were excited that the movie theater was open, and we were excited to go. We really wanted to see this.
Well, and I got excited too because the cast actually watched the trailer and did it online. Mm-hmm. And it was a lot of fun to watch because they were excited. This is their work, so that's not a problem for me. That's the kind of stuff I like. But
they all were just super excited. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it was a bad movie. I just think there's just a little bit that they strayed away from.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're just talking Mortal Kombat. We should start, got a caller on the line talking Mortal Kombat. Go ahead, caller.
All right. Well, we're going to get out of here. Definitely look forward to this game. I do think it comes for Xbox One, so I'll definitely be getting that. And Missy and I will be battling it out. Sub-Zero will be winning again.
Kung Lao will be winning again.
Thank you all for checking us out. Please hit the subscribe button and like button for us, and give us your thoughts in the comment section. What you think of the game and what you think is how it's going
and
to
let
be.
us know if you like the trailer or not. Like, do you think it was well produced? I thought it was.
Looked wonderful.
It looked almost too real. You know, it looked beyond animation. So let us know.
All right, all. Thank you much. Have a great weekend. Cheers.
Just a bit for you.